Hey there again. You know, you can tell pretty much by the shirt that I'm wearing or the attire that I have on what kind of video that this will be. It's not 100% accurate, but it is pretty close. Alright, now we're talking about YEVO again, yes. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, any of them, you've either seen a guy who's like talking real like intellectual like, or you've seen a guy who is like out there. So what's the result here? What does this mean? What is the meaning of all this? Does it mean like it's a confusing mess, or does it mean, hey, there are different parts and there are different aspects to this situation? You could look at it intellectually, you can look at it emotionally, but you would be best served if you look at it. That's my opinion, and I am standing by it now. All right. You know, that's just a little over-the-top stuff like I'm well known for. You know, I can talk like that, or I can be more reasonable. Now it's time for some reasonableness, okay? Now, when we're talking about, YEVO. YEVO is an MLM, okay? Now, I realize that many of you out there, because of past experience, are just plain turned off by the behavior of people in MLM enterprises or, companies, right? Now, I've been there. I know what this is about. I've been into MLM, and I've got a person who's calling me now. Call me, please. Please, call me. Do things that are interactive with me. I mean, say YEVO to my videos. Say yes. YEVO, does it mean yes? Not exactly. But it kind of sounds like it, right? So now I'm talking to you. Now I'm going to get a message on this. Don't want to hear that. That's a personal message. Don't want to hear that on this. Okay. So, where was I? I'm talking about YEVO! Okay, there's a little bit of emotional appeal or excitement or something like that. Now, getting back to the more intellectual aspects, I am telling you, I'm not really telling you. You know these things. I am agreeing with you. If you are the kind of person who's been turned off by MLM people before. Now, am I here telling you today that this MLM is like totally different than every other MLM that you have ever encountered in your life? No. This is an MLM, and there are people in this MLM organization that are just like every other MLM that you've likely encountered. And either that's a bad thing or a good thing or a neutral thing or just a thing. You know, it's really your perspective that I'm talking about. Your feeling about this whole thing. I mean, it's you that is the judge of what to do and how you react to all this MLM stuff. I mean, I've been there. I have turned off family. I have turned off coworkers. I have turned off people. You know, with this MLM stuff in the past. I know what you're talking about if you're on that side of things. I've been there. It has affected me. It has, hurt me. This MLM stuff. So believe me, I know that side of things. I'm telling you. Now, with that said, does that mean that everything in this world that is MLM is bad? Does that mean that everything that is, every person who's into MLM is evil or bad? No! But anyway, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a way to bridge. I am a bridge builder. I am trying to bridge the worlds. Kind of like Simon and Garfunkel. I am trying to find that bridge over troubled water. That is what I'm trying to do. Now, you can think of it in whatever way you want to. But that is what I am trying to do. Okay? There are parts of things on both sides, shall we say, that are problematic. There are people in MLM that are doing things that are turning off all kinds of people in their life. Okay. But there are also some products in MLM companies that are great. At least in my experience, there are some products that are really worthwhile. Some of them might be expensive. Some of them just reasonable or, not so many like that. But, there are some things in MLM that is valuable and reasonable and a good thing to explore and to consider to adding into your life. All right. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to find a way between the madness. The madness on both sides is like any other extremes. You got your religious extremes, you've got your political extremes. I'm trying to find a balance. I'm trying to find a way that okay, I'm sorry. But it's just, I'm trying to find a way that integrates the whole thing in a positive way, in a way that is good, in a way that makes sense, in a way that is absolutely real. Reality, instead of taking a stance on one side or the other. Oh, it's all bad. Oh, it's all right. It's a great thing. It's a free enterprise. I'm trying to find a way in between that says, okay, What can we do? What can we do with this? Is this not a viable thing if done in a good way, in a self-supporting way, in an others-supporting way? I mean, can this exist in this society? I mean, can this be done in a way that is ethical? And, and absolutely helpful. That is my mission. And I am telling you this right now. That is my mission. Now, I could get all excited. I could get all emotional about it like that, or I could say it in more intellectual terms, like I might say in other videos. But this is for you to decide. Do you really want to just say no to everything just because it fits a certain category? It's like, it's like racism in a sense. Just because, everything is a certain race, you want to say no to it? Well, of course not. Or any other category. Well, it's the same with MLM. At least that's the way I'm saying it right now. That's the way that is what I am declaring is the case. Just because it's MLM doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Now, I don't care. Well, maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't like any of this stuff. Well, fine. Don't like it then. Now, as for me, I am saying this is viable. This is something to consider. In a product-based MLM, consider what we're talking about here. Don't go for the freaking people who say you're going to be rich overnight if you just do blah-de, blah-de, blah. Don't go for that extreme. Hey, I am addressing people in my own organization, my own people in this MLM as much as I'm addressing those of you who have nothing to do with it. Okay? I'm addressing you both, and I'm trying to find a way through it. I'm trying to find a way that makes sense in reality instead of some knee-jerk reaction on either one of yours case. Any one of yours case. I am sitting here now telling you that's the way I'm thinking. Now, you want emotionality, you can have it. That's your emotionality. People seem to like that kind of stuff at a certain level. Or I could be all intellectual. I could say things really intellectual and well, let me see. How do I get down into that mode? I'm not sure if I can do that right now. Okay. Well, so studies have shown that people who are into MLMs don't make a lot of money on average. In fact, on average, it is a terrible way to make a living, because you got the people at the top. But then it's like every other thing in life. It's like the company that you likely work for. The people at the top are making the money. It's the people at the top who are making gobs of money. Chances are you are nearer to the bottom. Chances are you're making, if not, minimum wage, you're making somewhat a little bit over that. You're just a peon, in terms of the company's structure. How is it any different in MLM? You know, you got your people at the top, you got your people at the bottom, and the bottom people either make very little or nothing. But it's not about that as far as I'm concerned. It's about the products. Are there products that are worthwhile, you know, to check out in the MLM sphere? Yes, I believe that there are. Now, the one that I'm involved with, is this the answer to all the world's problems? Probably not, but hey, it's a good idea. It's a good idea in my opinion, and I've been around. I've been around in this situation, so I know a thing or two. I've had experience, you know, in this whole thing. So, hey, you know, you make up your mind like you always do. But if you want somebody who is truly refreshing, somebody who doesn't just buy the company line, and yet somebody who doesn't just eschew the whole thing just because 5 years ago you talked to blah-de-blah, who was the most freaking rude person in your life, and he or she happened to be with MLM, and so you swore that you're not going to have anything ever again to do with MLM because of that one bad experience. I am telling you right now, I am trying to find a middle ground. I am trying to find an integration. I am trying to find something that makes sense for all, or at least those who consider, you know, taking both extremes into consideration. That is my mission. That is my goal. I could say it emotionally, or I can say it nice and friendly and intellectually, and it's like, well, yes, in terms of the whole situation, my studies and my analysis have concluded that, yes, there is a middle way. There is like a way between those extremes of people who, you know, are just, you know, so turned off or so turned on, you know, and there are some products out there in the MLM world, just like there are products in the regular world. It's the same thing in a sense. You know, there are products out there. Okay, so the marketing, you know, that turns some people off, just like every other marketing turns some people off. You know, so what are you going to do? You know, that's your choice, you know, and I'm just saying, you know, whatever. You do what you're going to do. You're going to do what you're going to do anyway, you know. But this is my statement. This is my video. Bye-bye.